So, hi there. Yes, the snow is finally here. Of course it's gonna melt away, but it has been here for over a week now. And we had some really nice crispy days. Yes, so I took up to the hills again, but this time with snow on the ground. You could think that this is late in the evening or early in the morning, but in fact this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So there is not very much sunlight left, but still very nice and beautiful. I'm Jakob, 71 degrees north. Yeah, but for the gray and not so crispy days, I had to come up with something to do here inside instead. And as for now, 5 years ago, I suddenly started painting watercolor. And my idea was to, with this video, to show how I do it. Bear in mind, this is not a tutorial, and I'm not a teacher in any way in this. I just show you how I do it. And why? Because I want to brag a little. Of course I'm proud of it. I think some of my pictures are really nice. But hey, that's me. You judge for yourself. I have my paper taped on a board, slightly tilted, and I start by a technique called wet on wet. I have just clean water. I wet the paper throughout. Then I start by my first layer of blue. I try to make even strokes, and then the next color right up to the blue. This is a reddish color that I apply, and then I have a very diluted blue color at the top. And I paint them just with a little bit of space between the colors, so that I get a soft edge. And then I gently, with a tissue or a paper, take off the excess. And then I dry the paper. Next I apply a wash of brownish color to mark the mountains in the background. Here I should learn to trust the colors and don't overdo it. Just paint confidently. I have problems with that. And next I apply some yellow for the river delta that I'm going to paint here, I always start or trying to start with the lightest color, of course. And then I apply some blue color that blends with the still wet yellow color, and I get a uneven green color that gives more structure to the grass or whatever there is on the delta. And next I apply some dark blue to outline the waterfront, or where the water meets the land. As you see, I hesitate to paint. I'm so anxious to not overdo. And still, for the most part of my paintings, I do overdo them. And here I just apply more dark spots to get some structure and life to the delta. Now the first wash on the mountains are dry, so I can apply a second wash, just so I get a little bit of variation in the color in the background. And here I am again starting to overdo. And far in the background there is it's mountains on the other side of the fjord, and that we see just like a dark line. And I need just a suggestion of a color very, very far away on the water to mark the horizon. I used to think that with watercolors you just can't fix any mistakes, but here I obviously did get too much color, and if you're very fast you can dry the brush and dry the paper with it. And now I apply some color to the river that is flowing down to the sea. And here is the same thing. Don't overdo. It's all about contrasts. The parts that you don't paint on is as important for the picture as the part that you paint. And I need something to reflect in the water to get the sense of that we have water in the front here. So I invented a kind of a bush, so I get it to reflect in the water. And with this paper is quite rough and quite thick, and with a sharp object like the paint tube, I can get quite nice lines. And then I try to get reflections on the water. Very, very thin, dark lines. And here I'm building up a kind of a sense that the water is running down the small river, around the stones and objects under the water, so we get the dark lines. And here I needed another object that reflects in the water, so there's a branch or something sticking up of the water, just a suggestion that something is sticking up when it's reflecting in the water. And more of the water lines with dark colors, and some more grass, or something that gives the delta part more life. And then I yet again applied another darker wash on the mountains to get them to stick out and give them a more structure and life. And here I have invented yet another object that reflects in the water, some small trees or bushes. And now I try to get some very light clouds far in the distance. It's essentially just dirty water. And this is the result of the day's work. And here's some of the pictures that I dare to show you. I'm quite proud of them, but essentially it's just a very nice hobby. So that's what I have been up to here alone in my house. Okay, bye now.